Hi, everybody, and welcome to this very exciting friendly match between England juniors and Kazakhstan juniors. We've just had I've just had a couple of technology issues, but I think it is now all sorted. I am Natasha Regan.
I'm FIDE Master James Vigus.
And we're going to take you through these games, and we're going to be joined very shortly also by Grandmaster John Speelman. So let's have a look at the games. Shall we start? I think we were trying to start with Freddie's game because we had been looking at that. So let's have a look. This was a French defense, and if I take us to the I want to just turn the engines off just so we don't get...
yeah, good idea if we can.
Your evaluation bar is off. Okay. But nonetheless, it is still showing it, so...
Okay, well...
You'll have to ignore it. Okay.
We can ignore it, can't we? Are we going to race through one more time in this game? Okay.
Let's just quickly whiz through.
Sure.
French defence. Very sharp, this French defense.
White's been playing this very sharply all the way through, yeah. Really going all out. Opposite castling and now this...
Opposite side castling. So Freddie the Mate, he is recent winner of the Terra-Final Championships of his age group, and a very strong, talented junior player from Scotland. And he is up against... Talgatov Nazar. That's his chess.com name anyway, from Kazakhstan. And they're both going all out, really. We've got an opposite side castling match here in the French defense. Okay. So Freddie's come in and taken on h7. But it does look like his bishop's trapped, doesn't it, James?
His bishop's definitely trapped. Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's won the exchange.
We made it. We made it in the end.
But yes, he's going to have to give up that bishop just for one more pawn. Which, okay, he stopped Black's intended pawn onslaught on the king side, and he's going to be materially quite well off from this, I think. Well, let's carry on a couple more moves, shall we?
Yeah.
Exactly. Bishop's got to give itself up, and now so materially White's doing fairly well here. Rook and two pawns against bishop and knight, but I mean it's not that obvious to me what White's plan would be. That e5 pawn is a little bit looks a bit weak to me, and well, Black's pieces are all still pointing at White's king, so I'm a little nervous on White's behalf, but.
I mean, this bishop's quite a good defender here, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it is also defending this square as well, so you wonder if it might get overloaded somehow. But it looks like it's holding everything together, so that looks quite nice for Freddie. How did you? But this pawn could become weak. But how would White try to attack?
Well, Freddie plays b4, which is another sort of forward-looking move, but then Black's bishop is going to come around and take the pawn on e5, and that's one less pawn, and that vital bishop on g3 is going to be dislodged.
Yes.
So b4.
So if Black manages like a bishop takes here, then this could get swapped off, and then White's king is looking a bit scared.
Exactly. And I also wonder if White may have had something better than b4, but it's not that easy to spot a plan for White.
Well, I guess at some point, if White can get a4 in as well, then this kind of b4 blocks that b pawn, and you can kind of get things opened up on the queen's side.
Absolutely, yeah. I guess you're right. The b4 is a prelude to a4, isn't it? And just trying to smash things open. Though that doesn't quite explain White's next move. So now,
d1.
So Black could be considering bishop takes e5 here to swap off that bishop on g3, but maybe Black just likes his bishop pair. So
Black actually
after all, Black's getting that knight into c4, isn't he? Then this is looking very nice for Black now.
Well, yeah. Well, having left the computer evaluation on, the computer doesn't agree.
Oh, okay.
And Freddie actually comes up with this knight e2 attacking the bishop.
Right.
And so if the bishop drops back, you might end up with a sort of knight f4 type thing, I guess, and these pawns may become weak.
Indeed, so black's got to play knight c4 now to give the bishop.
Yeah, so black does play knight c4, and now white comes in with queen to g5. Okay,
well, this is now looking quite... I wonder if black should have taken an e5 with the bishop then. This is now looking...
Yeah, maybe with the bishop's better.
Much better for white now, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Right,
we're going to whiz through we're going to whiz through because there's quite a few games going on and it's quite fast. So we'll whiz through to another one. So let's look at, shall we look at Imogen Dyson?
Okay, good idea.
Let's see Imogen Dyson. And this one, so Imogen is playing in the under 14s, I think. No, she's not. She's in the under 16s. Imogen's in the under 16s. And here we go. Let's whiz through.
So she's white against obviously quite a strong player here.
Yes, she's white against a woman's FIDE master. It's lovely they've got a chance to play this match, isn't it? I mean, it's a really nice idea. It's a sort of double round friendly match against Kazakhstan. And both countries have a lot of talented junior players, so it's very nice. Okay, so actually it's quite an early g5, isn't it, by black?
It is, and we had a very sort of solid and quiet-looking Vienna game up to here, with a sort of Igor Glek style play from white with the knight on f3 and the pawn on g3. But now, yes, after a bit of back and forth, black has suddenly lashed out with g5. So, well, certainly possible.
If I was white, if I was Imogen, I wouldn't mind that too much, you know.
Yeah.
Because it as well, you know, it is attacking white's position, but it also is a bit loosening for black's position. So I'd be quite happy as Imogen here.
Yeah, I agree. So black's lining up for f5, and okay, well, white's got that knight out of the way of any possible g4. It's interesting, isn't it? I wonder why black didn't play f5 there, but now that's a nice maneuver from Imogen, getting the knight round, looking at that weak f5
this knight is looking in to come in here, or at least to stop black putting the pawn there now.
Although maybe she's going to do that anyway, is she?
Yeah, well, actually,
that's going to involve giving up the bishop.
Black's actually just given up the bishop for the knight. The knight is so annoying that black's taken it off, but then does get the f5 move in.
So I mean, long term, white's going to be quite happy with this, with that bishop pair, and I mean, it's not immediately obvious how black's going to.
Hi, David. David Sedgwick says hi, James.
Oh, hello, David.
How are you doing? I saw David the other week when he was helping to. He was one of the arbiters at the varsity match.
Oh yes, of course. Right, so black's got some central presence now. Is that enough to compensate for the bishop pair? Tricky. Possibly not. White's got to do something about that bishop on c5, running a bit short of squares. But I mean, on the whole, if white can just sort of keep this position under control, in the long term, those bishops are very nice. And black's king is potentially a bit drafty.
Yeah. And now, David points out that the UK team includes 5 players who represented England in the recent European Youth and Junior, and 1 player who represented Scotland. So we've got a lot of international pedigree in this friendly match. So she drops the bishop back to a3. We might see her. I wonder if we'll see her play b3 at some point, just to give that bishop a bit more.
Yeah, I think she'll probably have to do that, and that's good because that bishop will then be on the long diagonal. I wonder if she could have gone a4 rather than rook e1. I'm not sure. I mean, the rook e1's a good move, sensible move, but maybe no hurry to centralize the rook, and she could have just sort of given the bishop just had a bit more queenside space there. Still,
so a4 just kind of holds black back, I guess, on the queen side. Yeah. So you're thinking sort of round about here that maybe
before rook here maybe a4.
Maybe this would be an idea.
Because I mean, one thing white's lacking here is a bit of space. Still, no great problems.
Yeah, and actually she now does go b3, so she
Okay.
can redeploy this bishop when she wants to back to d2. Okay, and she does.
Okay. Right.
C3.
Interesting. So it's, well, what's she trying to do with c3? Does she want to play d4?
I think that's what she's trying to do. Yeah, and I guess her thinking is to open up that diagonal against the queen, and because black's pushed the king side pawn so far forwards, she wants to maybe get in and just pressure the king sort of behind those pawns, because that is just a little bit of a loose king side. What Imogen has to make sure is she doesn't end up with a pawn stuck on d4, because that then blocks her own bishop. So.
Right. Well, yes, that's right.
So maybe she's actually trying to stop black going d4.
Or maybe she's actually worried about black going
d4. That the other white bishop then goes huge, doesn't it? So.
Well, yeah. I mean, d4 is a bit double-edged for black. I mean, I see why black would want to play d4, because otherwise it's a bit difficult to do anything else with that bishop sitting on b2. But I see what maybe Imogen wants to meet black's d4 with c4 without having to worry about d takes c3, and which would indeed be a problem with that pawn hanging on d3.
And actually, this is what's happened.
This could be very sensible in just making sure she isn't getting too squashed there.
So this bishop doesn't have huge amounts of scope, but this bishop's lovely.
That one suddenly looks more
alive. This one suddenly has really come to life, because look at this diagonal here.
Okay, black white's got plans like b4 on the queen side, sort of Renko style play, and the bishop could come out back to a3 and or back to c1.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, black's got to think of something good to do on the king side, which is not all that obvious.
Okay. And yes, she does do exactly your plan. b4 takes and is bringing the knight round.
Oh, okay. So
now I guess the only problem is, does she get this b pawn back?
Yeah, b4 was actually a sacrifice, wasn't it? Which wasn't really necessary. But oh gosh, she's going to go g4, is she? Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh dear, I don't like g4 very much.
Because of this f4 square, I guess.
Like the hole on f4. Ouch. Yeah. I think b4 just needs a bit more preparation there. And then
so maybe she should have gone a3, b4, or something like that.
Something like that, or bishop a3. Yeah. But this is, oh dear, the white's king side is now looking very shaky.
Okay, keep an eye on Rakaya. Read it in the under 12s. Okay. We're going to need to. Yes, we will do that one in just a second. Okay.
Yes, so and the knight's moving in.
Yeah, I think it's looking now quite promising. It was looking in the early stages very good for white. It's looking quite promising now for black, just because these knights have managed to lodge themselves in on the king side.
Exactly. Yeah, that pawn just absolutely had to stay on g3, and sometimes black would have been considering sacrifices on f4, but this is just very, very nice for black.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll look at now. The crowd is asking us to look at Rakaya, who is, I think, the Curious Parrot. So let's have a look at that one. Okay, we'll just whiz through. Now, Curious Parrot, so Rakaya's white in this game.
White again against a high-rated player.
Against a higher-rated player, so let's see how it goes.
Open Sicilian, Sveshnikov, knight b3. Knight b3 is unusual, and this would be why, wouldn't it? Because black gets central space straight away, rather than having that usual hole on d5 that black usually has in the Sveshnikov. So black's going to be quite happy at this point, I think.
What David was saying is, it's not about this game, but in general, that Rakaya, Curious Parrot, has an outstanding knowledge of the King's Indian defense.
Right.
Okay. Interesting move. Okay, so taking advantage of this pin on the e file, you can't play that. So what she's trying to just kind of relocate her knight, either to swap off the knight on c6, or kind of relocate it over to the other side of the board.
Exactly, and the knight wasn't doing much on b3, so that's understandable. But I mean, the problem for white is just that double pawn on the queen side, isn't it? And so it's all very well swapping off pieces, but that weakness is going to be more and more.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a problem for white. These pawns if we get into an end game, which is looking like we will, then these pawns are much worse than black's pawn structure, just because they can't ever defend each other, and so they can be weak.
Down in black, yes, black's already mobilising a kingside pawn majority, which is looking quite strong, isn't it? F4 and F3, or eventually E3 coming. Okay.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Black's attacking here. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's good. That's very good.
What happened there, but this is definitely looking a lot better for white.
Yeah, no, she won the pawn.
That was very nice. Yeah. Black was just a bit too hasty advancing those pawns.
Yeah.
Now,
so the good thing about this, right, is you swap the E pawn for this C pawn that was very, very weak.
Yeah, and white's got the more active rooks now.
And the more active rooks, so you can maybe hop in rook E3 and maybe even take on F3. Okay, she's
taken on F3, which is quite brave, but that may well be the right move. I mean, it's better not to have a black pawn sitting around near your king, and with those two active rooks, the white shouldn't have too much to worry about here, really.
So king D2.
The white's going to want to not be swapping off too much now with these pawn weaknesses, but white's got an extra pawn and two active rooks, so this is all looking a lot healthier.
Okay, fine. Oh, so black's tripling up on the F file.
Right. So black can't take that pawn yet, can she? Because there's a back rank mate at the end of the exchanges, but the F4 pawn is looking quite weak now, isn't it? And the danger for white is that
so this can't be taken straight away, because we can just recapture, and then there'll be a checkmate at the end. Now remember, white is a pawn up, but if white does lose this pawn, then all these pawns are isolated compared with these ones that are kind of in pairs. So I'd say the pawn structure is a little bit better for black in this game, but white's major pieces are very centralized, and there is this extra pawn at the moment, so it's sort of quite balanced, I guess. But anything could happen. It's balanced, but still could be huge amounts of play left in this position, because when you've got these major pieces on the board, all sorts of things you can get snap checkmates just all of a sudden. So
that's true, and also long endgames too. I mean, it's interesting that black didn't take that pawn on F4 in that position, so she's playing for more, isn't she?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's taken me to a different game.
Okay.
Let me just.
That might be okay.
Round 1. I've now lost my. Let me just. Sorry. Let's just try that again. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to end up in the FIDE. So if we want the friendly match, here we go.
We should also be looking out for John Speelman's arrival, shouldn't we?
We should indeed as well. Yes. Let's take that off. Okay. So let's have a look at board 1 in the under 16s. And this is Arvamunden, and this is a perk. So can I flip the board actually? Reload board, flip board. Let's put the English player here as black pieces.
A perk indeed. Right, quite a solid option from black, effectively swapping off pieces. Now it turns into more like a sort of Caro-Kann structure. Should be pretty comfortable for black. Yeah, this is all.
Okay.
Well, very nice play from black, I think.
Actually, on paper, the English player is slightly higher. Of course, all these ratings are probably way, way, way out of date because of lockdown.
Well, great complications.
Okay.
Wow, now an endgame. It's hard to.
How is this? So it looks like just the exchange.
Well, black's got 2 pieces for a rook and 2 pawns, but I mean, black's got those 2 nice bishops. Unless there's any danger from the c pawn, then white's past c pawn. Then this must be quite nice for black. Right. Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, and he's managed to take the bishop. Okay, so this is very nice for black now. The bishop pair should come into its own.
Right. So we just got 2 bishops against a rook and a pawn. So very good for black, although a lot of work still to do. But that looked extremely impressive negotiation of the tactics there from black. And now it's a question of mobilizing those bishops to attack some pawns, isn't it? Right. Oh, good. Another pawn goes. This is lovely from black.
Yeah, and actually now this pawn is also the passed a pawn, and the bishops are just lining up to cover the squares all the way leading up to queening. So this is going to be just very nice for black. So let's just see where they've got to.
So off we go with the a pawn. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just liquidized, so it's now extra pawn. Time limits, Macbeth, are 15 minutes plus 10 seconds a move, so it's pretty fast. And there's two games. They play 2 games. So this one's looking good. We should keep a running total of the scores, actually, James, shouldn't we?
Ah, should we? Yeah. Yeah.
So we know who's winning the match. Oh, check this.
Lovely. Yeah.
This is it. This is it. That's the end.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Not quite, but.
Oh, nice touch.
And we would very much expect the extra bishop to
do
the trick here.
Well, absolutely lovely game.
Very nice.
Very impressive, yeah.
Okay, so if I click that back arrow, that should take us to. Okay, so we have a win on board 1. It looks like Iron didn't manage to win that game, so so it's 1-1 on those top 2 boards in the under 16s. Okay, let's have a look at. Should we look at Shreyas? Let's look at Shreyas.
Okay, good idea. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Shreyas is black in this position. Okay. Should we just look at we'll just say what it was, a Scotch game.
Well, white's about to win there, I'm afraid, isn't he?
Okay. All right. I think there's not. So white's playing up the board, and he won't be able to block both these 2 pawns.
Yeah.
Hi, Max Langerman. Okay. Oh, here's John as well.
Hi, people.
Hi, John.
I couldn't see. I'm okay. I'm sorry I'm so late. I got confused about what happened was I had a lesson with somebody at 9:30 in New York, and then I thought, oh, that's going to be 1:30 to 2:30.
It's very complicated with the clocks moving around. It is very complicated. UTC meaning something different, and yes, it's all very confusing.
Well, UTC and GMT are the same thing.
Yes.
What happened was I actually thought, oh, it's an hour earlier, and then I thought that the time in New York was an hour earlier, so I went back to in my rather stupid novel, which is why we got to there. What's going on in this?
Let's tell you. And I think James will want to pop off some time, but it's whenever you like, James. You can you choose what you want to do. So
okay, well, I'll say goodbye for now, and welcome to John.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much, James.
Thank you, Natasha.
Okay, so what we are, I'm just so looks like we have one on this. So John, so it's a sort of 12 board match.
12 board match.
Exactly, and it's a 2-round, 12 boards.
And they're 15 minutes plus 10 seconds. I know. Exactly.
I'll put you on. Let's put us on a game that's going. So let's just see. Let's see, Nina.
So what is it? Under what?
So there's 4 boards of under 16. So 2 boys, 2 girls under 16. Yeah. 2 boys, 2 girls under 14, and 2 boys, 2 girls under 12.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And so Nina here is. I think I keep popping into games where it's looking very difficult. Nina's black in this position.
Well, she's completely lost, yes.
She's completely lost because this queen and rook are going to be very powerful along the black.
Well, you have to swap queens afterwards. White is quite a lot of lumps ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just let's just see. So we're sort of almost, we've got just a few games still going on in this first round, and then we'll get the whole of round 2. Let's see Arjun Kalani. This is top board, I think, in the under 14s. Am I? Yeah.
Because I thought I had to find out.
Second board in the under 14s.
Find out how our sprogs are doing. Are we basically losing them? I imagine Kazakhstan are quite strong, actually.
Kazakhstan are strong, and it's also hard to tell as well because everybody's rating's way out of date.
Right.
However, we are, I think these, you can just see this, I don't know if you can see the very right of my screen, and it has the sort of 1-0. So we have, Freddie Gordon's won. Freddie Gordon has won. Aravamuddin Balaji has won. So we've got 2 wins, and Natasha's lost, Iron's lost, Julia, Olga, and Rukaya have lost. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-2 at the moment.
Right. I can't read that writing, but it doesn't. You can tell me what's.
I'll tell you it's 5-2. The score's 5-2.
Right. That's about what you'd expect, I think. I mean, I just think basically they're going to be better than our kids normally because they have much more coaching. Well, maybe not nowadays, but they always.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Maybe not so much nowadays, but basically they're going to be fairly dangerous sproglets, and probably our sprogs are going to be a bit less dangerous.
Yeah. Well, no. What about Arjun Kalani? What about this position here, though? So we're white. We're white in this pawn ending.
Rook and it's very complicated.
We don't have much time left. Only 17 seconds, but we get an extra 10 seconds a move, I think. Sorry, maybe 15.
If I were a team captain now, I'd hide behind a book and then find out what happened after the time control.
Yeah.
I was complaining. We saw people yesterday. I was telling them how they banned books in Baku.
Okay. So you can't hide behind them.
No, we couldn't. I mean, Judith and I both complained about this. It was just ridiculous. They said things like football managers don't use books, don't read books. And we thought, yes, that's very true. What clever boys you are for saying that football managers don't read books while they're watching the games.
What are you meant to read into that? Yeah.
What's that?
Dear. This is saying mate in 4. That doesn't sound too good.
Oh, dear. That is checkmate, in fact. Yes, king c6.
Oh, unlucky there, because that was...
Yes.
Wasn't clear to me that was going like
I hadn't noticed king c6 yet. I was looking at rook checks and deciding what's going on, but I had noticed the king wasn't tempting well. Okay, that was quite a bad result as well.
Okay, so it's looking like it's starting round
2.
So Elise Dyson got a draw.
Right, you said Freddie won, who is...
Freddie won.
No,
do you know Freddie Gordon?
I don't, but...
John, you need to know Freddie Gordon. He's a young Scottish player playing in the under-12s, and he won his age in the Terra finals, but he also has managed to have if I remember right, he'd had a win against, in the online British a little while back, just the recent British he didn't do his best, but the online British he got a win against Mark Hebden and a draw against Mickey Adams, but lost to Keith, I think, was his...
Good heavens, well, he must be...
I mean, fantastic for his age, right? And he's also got a win against Bogdan online as well, so he's...
Well, beating Bogdan is always an extraordinary thing in itself, so...
Yes, because Bogdan doesn't lose, he's... Yeah, very strong player.
And how did he do relative to playing online in the recent British? Not so well, you say?
He in the over the board British against all the adults, he didn't do very well that tournament, but then straight after that he played an over the board Terra final and did very well.
Right. Okay. So he's going to be a kid who's not so stable yet. But let's have a look. Is this the game? Are they just starting now?
This is a round 2 game. So this is Nina starting off in round 2.
Okay. Excuse me. So it's a reasonable move. It's nothing wrong with that. I can't see the names here actually, which is rather.
Oh, okay. Just on the just here on the left-hand side of the screen, Nina Pert against Kaldorova.
Right. Let me see if I increase my screen size to 1. That's actually not helping. It's just making it smaller. Okay. Why is that? Oh, I see. Because my screen is getting smaller, but these are getting bigger. Actually, that's very odd. Very, very odd. But I can just about read them now. Good. Okay.
Okay.
You can still see me, okay? And
I can still see you. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, I can just about read. So yeah, bishop d3 is a reasonable move. It's certainly not the best move, I would say, but it's okay. And she should probably play knight f3. I don't know if, I suppose d5 isn't a problem then. No.
So,
d5 is okay as well.
And that's where we're up to on Nina's game. Let's see if any of the others have started in round 2.
Well, presumably they all started simultaneously, did they? No, that's still there.
Yeah, it looks like just that one started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the first one too. Maybe I don't know if the arbiter has to go around and start each one.
Probably, yeah. Who is the arbiter?
We have Alex Holacek's been organising, I think.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got so the other players that you will know. So Shreyas, you'll obviously know Shreyas.
I do indeed.
Also, so Shreyas and Freddie are both in the under 12s.
Right.
Along with Elise Dyson and Ruqaiya Rida.
Right.
The under 14s, Arjun Kalani and Nishal Thatta and Nina Pert and Olga Latipova. So Olga was also playing in the British. And then in the under 16s, we have Arvimudan Balaji against Ian Mohammed Ismail and Julia Volovic and Imogen Dyson.
Right.
Good team from our side, and of course a very good team from the Kazakhstan side.
Well, it's what you'd expect, wouldn't it? I mean, they don't have. Don't they have? It's under 16, isn't it? So, is that Uber Sprog more than 16? Is Mbava or whatever she is? There's one who's. Isn't there a? Is that Uzbek or Kazakh? The girl who's both gymnastics champion of her city and one of the world's top 3 juniors. One of them is. Wait a minute.
Okay, I'm wrong on the arbiter. The arbiter is Kauzor Bayarijan.
Right.
And Alex Holacek is otherwise occupied.
Right. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm just going to look at World Chess Federation. I'm just going to look at ratings. Top ratings. Top ratings. Top 100. Top. Sorry, I'm top 100 girls. No, I think whoever I'm thinking of is more than 16 now.
Okay. Yeah.
Russia, China, Russia, USA, Russia, India. Kazakhstan is Asurbayeva, but she was born in 2004, so she is the one. She is the one who's also been gymnastics champion of whichever city she's got.
Okay. I think there's a girl in this match who's rated like 2300. So
right. Wait a minute.
Very strong.
That is a strong player. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. Wait a minute.
Did you say Balabayeva?
Asurbayeva.
Oh, okay. There's Balabayeva who's very strong.
Right. I mean, I don't. Wait a minute. Top 100 girls. 2300. We're looking for Kazakhstan, aren't we?
Yes.
In the 2300s, or Balabayeva Zhenya, born 2005, 2308. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's playing Julia Volovic.
Right.
Well, she just had a win against Julia.
Wouldn't. I mean, she's the 25th rated girl in the world.
While we're waiting for the game to start, we could just look at that game if you like.
Yeah, sure. Let me. I'll just go back to our website. I was just looking at you're not seeing my screen, are you? You're just
no. We're seeing mine.
We're seeing yours. That's fine because let's have a look.
Okay, so let's look from Julia's angle. Okay, so here we go. To the French.
That's fine. She's just trying to play decent chess, isn't she? Not to do anything exciting at all. Yeah. E5 sort of interesting, but quite weakening. You have to be quite careful when you do that. One of the things is the pawn on E6 is quite a pretty. It stops white doing things, but maybe not so much in the ending. Yeah, this is all a little bit. Probably. What happened next?
Yeah, she dropped the bishop back. And then carried on developing.
I mean, she's being kicked, isn't she? Quite a lot now.
Oh, because of this bishop on E6 being hit by the knight.
Yeah, it's quite annoying. She's just about keeping it going. At the moment, actually, she's fine. She's doing rather well, but... Oh, not bad at all, actually. I'm impressed. Yeah.
Haven't you thrown in bishop f4 check?
No, then bishop b3, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's not so well done.
It's a shame though, because it was It
was quite close for a long time. Okay, she's going to lose now. Clearly. Yeah, I mean, the girl's going to win.
Yeah, and this is going to be.
Yeah. The end is not. So let's just go back a few moves before she dropped the exchange.
Yeah. So this was the exchange.
Well, once she's dropped the exchange, the game isn't interesting anymore. It's about here, is it?
Yeah. So we had here. But we have to go back a little bit.
Well, you only have to go back one more move. You just need to play king f8 here.
Yeah. So instead of bishop c4, then king f8.
Yes. And then the game continues.
Yeah.
I don't know what you play. Maybe h4 to play g5, but I mean, it's not a clear position. Yeah. The game definitely continues still. Whereas after she's fought bloody well. She's fought very well. In fact, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, she's playing a stronger player. What is she rated?
She's more than this. Showing 1587. That might be her rating, but I know she's been playing.
She's a lot better than that.
Yeah.
She's probably 1900 or 2000 or something. So she's going to. And the other girl has not played particularly well. I mean, she just played like she wanted to win the game, and then she didn't. So then she ended up putting her pieces in reasonably sensible squares. Okay, so we got
right. We are action. We have round 2 now. What I don't know is, are they playing the same players or are they switching around? Let's see. I think they're playing the same player but the other colour.
That's entirely plausible, doesn't it? It would be the normal thing to do.
Yeah. Shall we pop in on? Let's pop in on Shreyas.
Right. How did he do in the first game?
He lost this game, and I'm just trying to find where he is. Shreyas, here we go. Okay. Do you want to see how we got here? I'll just quickly.
Well, to Catalan, I know how they got there, but I mean, viewers may want to see how they got there, but yes, I know. Plus or minus one move or something. Yeah, it's an A6, A4 Catalan.
Here we go, and that's where they are.
That's where they are. And you probably put a knight in D5, I'm imagining. That I wasn't sure which knight you should put in D5 is the only question.
Hi, Stambad. Stambad Stanley Badachoni is in the chat.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
And Bush takes F6 is conceivable. Perhaps not good here actually, because Bush takes bishop takes. e4, knight b4 causes an incident. Not sure. It may do. Knight takes d5, knight takes d5, bishop takes queen takes e4 is. These positions are very slightly better. Yeah, I'm not sure which knight he should have put on d5. Has this happened?
No, I was just playing your line that you're saying.
Okay. Because knight b4, we play queen e2, and then we play knight e5 next if we have a chance.
Okay, we got, so that was the position we got to, and actually Shreyas has played knight e5 here.
Oh, that might be a good move. Okay, so probably knight c3 now.
Yeah.
If knight c6, I'm going to play knight e2 check.
You get that pawn.
And that should be a reasonable version, I think, for... I mean, queen takes, pawn takes knight, bishop takes pawn, game continues. I'm not sure whether we're playing rook a7 or... Maybe rook a7 to keep that pawn.
Yeah.
It's one line. There's also bishop c6, actually, so that you end up playing knight c6 and knight e7 check at the end. Whether that's particularly wonderful either, I don't know.
Yeah. Stanbad, yes, I am still going to Brentwood, so I will see you there. So very good. Okay, so this is Shreyas. So the current game position is like that. We'll leave them to think for a bit. Okay, and let's see. Should we see Freddie?
Sure, yeah.
Freddie Gordon. Here we go. This is Freddie Gordon. He's playing black, so I'm going to flip the board so we see it from Freddie's point of view. And a Queen's Gambit.
He's just playing a sensible...
Yeah.
Just playing a Queen's Gambit exchange.
He doesn't mind going into endgames and things.
Well, if he's a proper player, he shouldn't.
Exactly.
And you've actually told me he is, so... I mean, White could have castled long and been much more aggressive, but he hasn't.
Yeah. So it's quite a quiet game. It's a... Well, White's playing... I'm going to say like Keith Arkle.
That's a reasonable summation. Yeah, he is more or less.
Yeah.
So rook a b1 would be one of the more normal moves. Okay. Rook f c1 I don't particularly understand.
Yeah.
But I don't see why the rook's c1, really.
David saying Shreyas didn't lose in round one. It was a draw.
Good.
Yes.
So what was it? It was about 8-4 or something, was it, the first round?
9-3, says David, to Kazakhstan. Yeah. So we're playing catch up.
Well, we're not going to catch up, are we? I mean,
we might. You never know.
Yeah, it's extremely unlikely. I mean, that's not really the point. The point is for these kids to have a run out where they are scrutinised, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite a good thing, you know, that you have young players having their games looked at by ancient.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, and yeah, proper event. You know, like a friendly match, but yeah, very nice. Getting out the whole team and yeah. Okay. So that's where we are with Freddie's. We'll come back to that one. Pretty level, I'd say. Yeah.
It's just a position. I mean, you can't really go a4 because of Queen d1 and Bishop c2, which is a slight shame. I would say White is slightly better, but nothing special.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. While we're on the under 12s, let's look at Elise. Elise, who I think she won in. Is that right? Let me just check that. Sorry, she drew in round one. So Elise is playing White here.
Right.
And Trompovsky, how exciting. There we go. A Julian Hodgson favourite.
Indeed. Well, a favourite of many miscreant British chess players.
Were you ever a Trompovsky player, John?
Yeah, of course I played the tromp at some point. I mean, you know, I breathe, so I will have played the tromp at some point. I'm not sure this is a particularly. I thought you were supposed to go try to play Bush takes e4 and Knight c3 or something. I don't know. Such a long time.
Bishop b8 she's gone to get the check in. Oh gosh, hang on. This is a bit of a. Hasn't she just won?
No, because black can play queen takes b8 and not lose.
Black should have done that. It looks like black did not do that, though.
Well, in that case, bishop b5 check has finished the game.
Is it?
No, okay, we don't need to look at this, actually.
So Elise, is it queen up?
Oh, she ought to win then, shouldn't she?
She certainly ought to win now.
If I may say so.
Wouldn't bet against her.
I mean, they're reasonable players, aren't they? So of course they'll.
Oh, yeah. No, very strong. Yes, I've played Elise actually. I played her a few years ago when she was really tiny, and I did win in the end, but it was a very close game for most of the way.
Could she reach the 8th rank? That's the big question.
She was little then. She was only like 6 or something.
No, well, could she physically reach
just
her
about, but she was going to play moves closer to herself probably.
No, because it's most important to be able to reach the 8th rank, or you really have it.
You've got a big disadvantage if you can't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, there are these tiny children who you end up playing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
It's always nerve-wracking, isn't it, to play them when they're 6?
It's awful. Yes, I mean, because you feel so stupid if you lose.
No, but she's good. She's good. And her sister. So it's Elise and Imogen. Their 2 sisters are both playing in this event.
Right. Good. Well, let's see her win.
Okay, so that one's looking good. And let's just check in the other under.
That would be very sad if she didn't do that.
She's going to win. So let's see Olga Latipova, who is playing against woman candidate master Aisha Zakharova. Okay, let's flip it round. I think in the first round, Zakharova won the game. So let's see. Let's see this one.
Well, basically, she's losing a pawn, isn't she? It's a Grunfeld, I assume.
Yeah.
One of the things, well, I'm sure you can do that, is just you normally know what opening a game was, don't you?
Yeah. Okay. That looks quite nice for white on the queen side there.
It is nice for white on the queen side, yes. Watch it. I mean, that's just a pawn, basically. Oh no, sorry, bishop a6, so it's not just a pawn. So I'm talking complete rubbish, because I was thinking bishop a6, you could play rook b2, but there is a bishop lurking on the g7 punct. So takes, probably knight d4.
Okay, so it's not a pawn at all. Okay, so is black just fine then?
No, but it's good. If queen takes, you move your queen away and you've got some space. If pawn takes, you play knight d4 is one very reasonable move, I think.
Okay, yeah, so white should be playing. So this is the idea. White plays this one, attacking there. Oh, she's done it already, yeah.
No, I mean, it's possible to take that, but of course it's very ugly.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you take this knight, but you've got to then watch out.
The squares are ugly. I mean, takes rook c4 or rook a4 or something isn't entirely clear, but I wouldn't want to do it if I could possibly avoid it.
Macbeth is saying he lost to a little girl at the London Chess Classic, and his wife was watching and is still talking about it 10 years later.
Who said that?
Macbeth is one of our viewers, Carlton.
Carlton, right. Oh dear, his wife is still, well, I mean, I remember losing to a Sprog did I go to Hammersmith Chess Club? Was it Hammersmith? No, it was somewhere up the Metropolitan line. Where's it? Harrow Chess Club for some reason.
Oh, yes.
I played some child of 10 and offered a draw and a pawn ending, and then he won. God, it was embarrassing at the time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's worse if you're a grandmaster, John, because everyone then remembers it afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I just lost the game after the varsity match to somebody, to Daniel Johnson, because I was half asleep and wanted to go home. So my last game of chess I lost, actually, which is a terrible thing that I have recovered from that by now. Yeah, no, you know, and people do lose games of chess at a certain level. If an accident occurs, you can, you know, you can lose.
I'm going to hop around a bit. So this is Nishal Natter, who is top one in the under 14 section.
Right.
Against Daniel Sapanov. And in the first round, Daniel managed to win that in the first round.
Right. Well, this is just a modern Benoni at the moment.
So he's giving up this pawn on e2.
Yeah. I presume you want to go rook e1 and pretend you're doing well. It's interesting. I'm not sure if it's possible or not. I mean, of course it's possible, but whether it's...
Okay, black doesn't take it. Black does it differently, actually. And this might be good, actually. Rook b4 and goes for the b2 pawn.
That makes more sense, actually, yeah, because that's...
Yeah. That's pretty clever from Sapanov.
So swap queens.
Takes, and
took it with a rook, I assume.
He didn't actually. He came out king to f8.
I think I'd have time in because b3 could be tried now, just to...
Yeah. So knight g5, and now takes. Okay, and yeah, so he's defending this d pawn, and that's where they're at.
Well, it's not a completely clear position. I mean, it's probably quite good for black, but black has a lot of the queen side.
Can white take on h7?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Probably f6 then, I don't know.
Okay, so there is a risk of that knight just getting stuck.
Well, it's not so the knight will get stuck, it's just that black will gain some time or something.
Mm.
Another move, you can play as knight a6 just to get your pieces out.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a bit of an easier game for black.
Well, I mean, he's a pawn up at the moment, and you know, he's winning on the queen side, which is nice. It's always nice to be winning on one side of the board.
Yeah.
But of course, it's still a battle.
Oh, white's taken on f7. I wasn't expecting that move.
Well, I thought that was possible. I didn't think it was very, very good, but it might be. It's not a stupid thing to do at all. Had occurred to me.
Yeah.
I suppose. Probably bishop d4 check and then get the pieces out. But white's going to get an e5, e6, so it's not going to be so clear.
Interesting way of playing it from this show. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because at least you get a position you have some fun with.
Yeah.
You have a lot more fun in this position than you did before.
It's true, actually. Yeah. Okay. Interesting play. All right. Let's see. Let's see board one. Okay. So we're playing white on board one. It's a reti.
You can play knight g5 there as well.
He's going to bring this knight.
Just bring it around towards. Interesting position, but e5 is a bit loose. Not sure c3 or a3.
C4. Okay, so he's trying to dislodge this knight. So you can defend the pawn with the bishop. Is that the plan?
The knight presumably goes back to C7.
And yeah, bishop f4 to defend that e pawn.
Sure, you particularly to that. Yeah, now he's going to put the knight on e6 probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if b4 is much of a threat. Ever.
Oh, so white playing this at some point. Where would you put your king? Just back to g1?
I might go queen f3 actually. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. All right. So that's still all to play for in that game. Let's see this one. So this is another game from the under-16s. Our player Diamond is black, so I'm going to switch it around.
So what? So you can see that the black squares aren't entirely black's friends here.
Oh, this is weak. Yeah.
Well, the knight is huge, and basically black has no real play. This is quite a lot better for white, and should be quite a lot better for white. Because
if you were back in this position, what would you do?
Grovel around and hope the sign turned up, really.
Yeah. Okay.
I think.
Yeah. So this whole structure, just means the dark squares are weak for black, and this. Yeah, and I suppose you've got these pawns on the white squares and this white square bishop.
I'm wondering about playing f4.
There.
And then swing the rook over, and did they just go rook b1? Did they just play?
Yes, white just played rook b1. So I suppose they're wanting to push this pawn forward.
Yeah. Well, that's going to give some squares, perhaps. I thought leave it and just enjoy the kingside preponderance.
So would you start launching all your kingside pawns up?
No. I wanted to play f4 to give the rook to swing, and then play maybe rook g3, rook 1 e3 or something, just take aim. I wasn't sure. I can try to play g4, but I guess it's because, the knight is much better than the bishop.
Yeah.
Actually, the bishop is doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the bishop to settle anywhere sensible, but they can't with a knight and e5 ready. So maybe b4 and a4 is a good plan, but it's just slightly ponderous, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, tricky for Iron, and he's also well down on the clock, so he's going to have to.
It's not a very pleasant position.
It's not too, but yeah, it's hard to play. That's how you can get down on the clock, isn't it? If you've got this position that's really hard to play, it's just going to take you longer to find the move.
Well, if you can't find a decent move or a decent enough move to sign off on it and get on with the next move, then you can easily run it into time trouble just staring at unpleasantness. It doesn't actually help if your position's unpleasant. It's unpleasant. There's nothing particularly intelligent.
Nothing to be done. Yeah.
Indeed, as Ivan would say.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Who didn't we see yet? Did we see Imogen? Let's see Imogen. So this is Imogen is the sister of Elise, and Imogen is playing black in this game.
Oh, that looks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just played d5. Presumably your queen e6 just played. Or was it h3? Queen e6 must have been played, I guess.
H3.
No, king h1.
So it was king h1, yeah.
But where was the queen last move?
Queen b6 check.
Right. King h1, and then she played queen e6.
Yeah.
Not sure if that's a good idea or not.
Yeah. Would you play ever d4 to try and cut out this?
Well, I was trying to decide. I thought I might do, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think. I mean, it makes the bishop an a1. Well, it can go around to a3 quite quickly, actually.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted to play probably h5. They can take in d5 or something, but I'd be thinking about it all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so queen e6, queen e2 has been played.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I can update you that Elise has in fact won that game when she, the game where she won the queen early on.
Well, good. So she should do.
So she should, and so she has.
Good, well done. Yes. But I mean, if you win a queen for a minor piece,
you're winning it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see this game. Arjun Kalani is black. Let's flip it around like that. So we're playing black here. Against Moldagali from Kazakhstan.
Right. We seem to nice bishop on a7, I suppose. Nasty square on f5.
Yeah. So black currently has the bishop pair, although might not keep
well,
that.
You can take it, of course, and white has to take the pawn. Clearly, you can't let the knight sit in f5.
No.
That's not so clear because the knight isn't great in d6 there, actually.
Yeah, okay. So it's white's go. Yeah, so if white does take the bishop, we take like that.
Yeah, you have to take the pawn.
Yeah. Yeah. And if white goes in, if white goes into f5, you just take it and you win a pawn. You can't do that straight away.
You don't have to win a pawn even a bit, but you don't get pressure stops a bit.
Mm.
So I don't know what moves there are. There's g4 maybe. g4 isn't a stupid move to play knight f5 and take back with a g pawn.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like swapping, isn't it? Because it increases the control of this f5 square, but gives away the f4 square.
Yeah, but the f4 square isn't a big deal here. Unless queen f4 is possible, knight f5. Don't know, it's not so clear because you'd have to take an f5, and at the moment you're stopping g3 due to the pin.
Yes.
And that's actually quite important, I would think.
Yeah. So this is if the queen does ever come into here and white plays this, queen can actually just take on here because you can't.
Because of the pin, yeah.
Pin. Yeah. Okay, so this is, I guess, pretty balanced.
I don't know. I think a couple of moves either way, it'll change.
Yeah.
I'd hope to find a way to get the advantage as white, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
This has all happened.
This one. So now, who didn't we see? Let's check back in on Freddie. So Freddie, here we go. So this was this kind of Queen's Gambit declined.
Thought all about better for white, probably. People like Carson managed to draw these very easily as black. Well, I say people like Carson, nobody's like Carson.
You just mean Carlson?
Just mean Carson, yeah. I've seen him play this sort of position and seems to be happy.
Yeah. So you think white's got a slight plus just because of this isolated pawn?
Yeah, I would think so normally, but maybe, it may not matter. It's very well protected at the moment. I mean, the isolated pawn, it isn't just a pawn, it's the fact there's the square in front of it.
Yes.
Where pieces can normally sit forever, unchallenged.
Yeah. Okay, so Freddie's pushed his B pawn.
It's reasonable. He's a very sensible player, actually, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, those games he played against like Mickey and Keith and that were, it wasn't like attacks, it was just kind of long games within games.
Good. It's a proper flyer, yeah. He may well think he's playing for the advantage, but I don't know if he is.
Yeah.
It's a sort of movie play, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Let's see Shreyas. Oh, Nishal has not managed to hold that game.
Well, this position's now lost, by the way, for black.
Oh, which position?
On the right, the our girl who.
Oh, iron.
Yeah.
On here. Yeah. Okay. Yes. We had this. The knight coming.
Enormous
the knight in here was very strong.
Yeah. So what do you think White should play next in this position? What would you play?
For White.
Yeah. He did play h4, and what would you do next?
Well, I suppose I wouldn't mind getting h5 in if I can.
I think you should play h5. The bishop is completely dead on a8. I'd want to go h5, and then I really want to try to get my king in a while. It's going to be a little bit of a faff, but I'm going to try to get in. Oh, well, yeah. So rook a7, he's going to try to play rook b7, or he's going to lose. Oh, he's gone at h5 as well. That's completely dead now then. I mean, you put the king in g5. That just wins the game. Well, maybe you can try king h6.
Oh, so just like here.
Well, you can do that as well, yeah. I mean...
We'll just leave the king there.
Well, you go... Yeah, I mean, it's not... Okay. Now... Ignore the bishop for the moment. It's not doing anything. There's a very famous game, Alekhine-Yates, where Alekhine got doubled rooks in the 7th, and the knight on e5, and the king stopped in as well. It was truly horrible. Truly miserable.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Let's see Julia. So Julia this is the return match. We saw that this is the women's FIDE master, who seems to be taking Julia's D pawn right now. So it's going to be pass G and H pawns against this big pass C pawn.
Should be very good for black, but with rooks and knights in the boards, things can always happen.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there's a pawn on a2. I'm sorry, I'm just really...
Yes. Yeah, there is, yeah.
I'm sorry, because I'm tired, actually. So, well, that changes the position a great deal. Probably just b5. I mean, you just have to play b5 and bring your king up.
Yeah. It's probably harder for white to bring the king up, because if you do, then they're going to do rook d2 checking.
Yeah, it might not be the end of the world, but yes, I mean, b5, I don't know if he's going to go can he go a4? Maybe. But you bring the king up and just support the pawns. And it's not that easy for white to advance, because the rook's quite good on... But b5 is certainly the first move you play.
Yeah.
A shadow of a doubt, really.
All right, let's check in on this one.
Black probably doing quite well. I don't know. Depends if you can. Whose move is it?
It's black to play white's just played knight f3.
Well, pawn takes pawn is one reasonable way to play. Pawn takes pawn, knight c4. Queen d4. I was going d3. Is that might well be even better actually?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the knight on a3 is not great, but it'll be good enough for whatever happens.
Yeah, because as you say, if you need a square for it, you can kind of take on
you can go to c2, or you can take an a4, or you can. I mean, basically, white's lost a pawn, and there's a bit of mess going on at the moment.
And that's quite a big d pawn as well.
Well, it's certainly alive at the moment.
Yeah. All right, we've got some results. So I'm just seeing if any of them have gone our way yet. Shreyas has won.
Yeah, well done. Let's have a look with Shreyas.
Let's see Shreyas's, yeah.
So it might be close to this round. Good.
No, it's not. It's not because I didn't mention. Oh, sorry, Elise has won and Shreyas. Apologies. Elise has won and Shreyas has won. So we won 2. Olga's lost, Iron's lost, and Nisha's lost. So it's 3-2 to Kazakhstan at the moment. So where's Shreyas? This must be. There's Shreyas. Oh, looks like a rook up at the end.
Right.
We saw some of this, didn't we? It was Catalan.
It was a Catalan. That's right. Yeah.
They got into.
Oh, you managed to get one of these nice endings. Yes. Well, Black's position is disastrous. Not only is the white rook magnificent, but white's pawn up and black's got awful pawns.
Yeah, this looks really good, doesn't it, for rook ending?
Oh, it looks winning, yeah, completely.
There's not even none of the black pawns can ever advance ever.
No, it's all horrible. It's good. I mean, look, an engine will say +3 or +4 or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was Shreyas. Very good. Okay. Let's see. Let's see Freddie. Okay, so Freddie's yeah, it looks level, doesn't it? But Freddie's bringing the queen's side pawns forward.
The bishop is I'm not sure.
Do you like that bishop?
I like the bishop, but knight's quite annoying as well in these sort of positions. Yeah. Probably should play b4, I imagine.
Yeah. And they're going to have to play pretty fast. I mean, actually 3 minutes left, Freddie, and 1 minute left for Nazar Talgatov. Okay. I'm going to hop around a bit just because there's still a few games going on.
Good.
Okay. Let's see. Imogen's unfortunately lost. Let's see Julia. So we saw.
Oh, that's not good now. I don't know. How did black win a pawn then? A4 must have happened or something?
Let's see. We got to this.
Yeah.
Here. E5 did. A3.
This is lost now.
Yeah, so we're swapping off that A pawn.
Oh, is it knight g5? That is right, is it? Not sure.
So knight g5, f3. Okay, that's pretty nasty, isn't it?
I would think so.
How do we stop that?
You don't.
We can't stop this pawn. Oh, that's gone then. Unlucky, Julia. Okay. All right. Nina Pert, we haven't seen, actually.
We haven't, no.
They've only played 9 moves. Can that be right?
I think it's likely that the software's failed. I don't believe a couple of kids could have played 9 moves.
Let's see the 9 moves.
And they're quite interesting moves, actually.
Did you?
No, of course not. Of course you didn't play. I mean, something's gone
No,
wrong.
something's gone wrong.
I'll just be a minute. I'm going to get myself side to nibble because I'm dead.
I'm not quite sure what's really going on here. We don't think it's this. All right. Let's see Ukaya. All right. So we are playing black in this game. In the first round, Ukaya lost. So here we go. Oh, this is looking nasty though because of all these threats on G7 for mate. And you can't defend it on here because E7's covered. So how do you defend it at all? Well, it's check at the moment. So I guess the black's plan is to try and get some kind of perpetual. Yeah, you could maybe try it. So I guess the move to try is rook G8. Yeah, which she's played. Which threatens to take on G3, for example. But it's a piece down as well as mating threats. So, yeah, and this is a good move by white, attacking this rook. Yeah, so I think this one is lost. Okay. And what about this one? Here, Arjun's playing black here. And white's got 2 extra pawns. So this one I think is lost as well, unfortunately. Let's see, have we got any more results? So we had the win from Elise. Freddie Gordon's drawn. Nina has won. Well played to Nina. That was the game we weren't quite sure if the moves were real or not. But it looks like I'm going to just go back to that game, actually.
Something went wrong with that, didn't it?
I think something's gone wrong with the Nina one.
Well, obviously it has. I mean, you know, it happens, doesn't it? Software blows up all the time.
Yeah. Okay, let's check in number 1.
Yeah, all right. It's better. I'm just going to eat some bread and hummus, actually.
Okay, fine. So we are white. It's a couple of pawns down, I think.
Yeah. Should be lost, but the black does have the wrong rooks pawn.
That's true.
Which is a mercy. She seems to be trying to swap the bishops, which is rude. I mean, this is a winning position, but not a trivial one or anything, because there are all those checks.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to look at the... There's only one other game still going on.
Right.
Which is Rukaya. Let's see that one. Aha. Okay. This one, white's got an extra knight, so...
White is winning.
White's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, Black's king is quite good, but doesn't make up for a horse.
No, it's not going to be enough. But she should go in there. Yeah, she should anyway. Just go in.
Should have gone to A5, by the way.
Sorry, we're black on this game.
Yeah, the white knight should have gone to A5, but
okay,
slightly better. But
yeah,
okay. It's always a little bit of fuss potting because a knight against a king is not much good, Ray.
Yeah, you kind of think, is there a chance? I'm sure there's not a chance, but yeah.
Well, one problem is that after if king takes, knight takes, king takes, there's knight b4 check, which is rather regrettable.
Oh, yeah.
So now there's no chance.
There's no chance. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, just whatever you
That's
like.
also right to move here. All right, so let's go back to the other. This is the last game going on, and can White get a perpetual check somehow? It
Really.
doesn't look likely.
There's a threat of mate in 2, isn't there? So.
Now David's pointed out to us. David Sedgwick has pointed out that the draw for Freddie Gordon means that the UK have won the under-12 segment.
Well done.
So the youngest age group is looking good.
Good, well done.
Yeah, big well done to them. So that team is Shreyas, Freddie, Elise, and Ruqayya.
Well, that is good, isn't it?
Yeah, very good.
So, we've got something which is, I mean, because, they are going to be a stronger team, almost certainly. A team from, well, Eastern Europe or Asia, whatever or a Soviet team, or a Soviet team.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really encouraging. Very good.
Well, this obviously is completely over.
And I tell you, John, we were commentating on the, me and Matthew Sadler were commentating on the youngest age groups in the British Championship, and there were these beautiful combinations that some of these kids are coming up with. There was
good.
This kind of subtle rook maneuver to bring the king out to do a checkmate, and it was really nice.
So the kids, so we have some decent kids to it.
Yep, I certainly do.
That's very good. I mean, as I said, I'd expect us to lose to this slot.
Yeah.
Very decisively.
Yes.
I assume they resigned, yeah?
I assume so, because it doesn't look like the clock's still ticking. So maybe this is all
so
now.
Maybe we finished. So what was the final score? It was...
So it is all over. Yeah. So I'm just going to add them up. Oh, maybe it's on chess results. Let me just see if it's easier on chess results.
So how many draws were there out of these 24 games?
Not many. Not many.
No, I mean little ones you don't expect to draw, even when they're quite good little ones. Some of them very good.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not seeing the results on here, so I'm going to just add them up. So Kazakhstan. Right, add them up. Kazakhstan. Oh, that's 4-0 on that one. Kazakhstan. Then UK.
Right.
Kazakhstan, UK.
Yeah.
And a draw. So 3.5 we got in the second round.
Right.
So a good win there for Kazakhstan. Mm-hmm. But lots of very good games, and we did win the under-12 section, so that's
that is encouraging, actually. That's very encouraging. And I mean, as I said, I just expect that they're going to be quite a lot stronger than our kids, but that we got a few good ones, which is what you want.
Yeah, and David Sedgwick's reinforcing the point, John, we do seem to have potential in under 8, under 10, and under 12 groups.
Good. Well, that's excellent.
So next time we do this, if we do a rematch against Kazakhstan, we'll just add in a couple more age groups at the bottom, and see how we do. If we've won the under 12s, we'll get an under 8 and an under 10 section. And you never know. You never know.
Yeah, well, I think the law of large numbers tends to apply, but yeah.
Yeah, so big congratulations to Kazakhstan today in the matches, and also well done to all our players as well.
Well, and also to the organisers. How did they manage to organise this? It sounds quite a. Why are we playing as Kazakhstan? It's rather splendid, but why are we?
It's lovely. It's lovely. I think that there have been quite a few kind of matches during lockdown of just people online playing. So I think it's
just like
very nice. Yeah, and so even at the, I've been more involved not at the juniors, but at the adult. Oh hi, check this. Nina won her second game. Not sure what happened with the live feed. Yeah, I'm not sure. We only got 9 moves of the second game, and it did see that she won, but we didn't think those were the right moves. So, but big well done.
Well, the black certainly didn't play knight c6 with a pawn and d5.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened with our live feed there.
No, it just got confused. The software at some point got confused. Something happened, and of course it is because it's all software. There's no problem with people moving pieces sloppily on the board, but something can happen easily.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. So thanks to the organisers. I guess it was a combination of UK and Kazakhstan working out the arrangements, but I think the chief arbiter was Kazakhstan. But thanks very much for that match of 1. Search username name Elite Player 3. Should we just have let's just have one quick look at that actually. Let's do that, because she's won a nice game. So /follow Elite Player 3. Unable to follow Elite Player 3. Right. So I do search. How do I do this?
On chess.com, well, you need to find search. Whereas
I just need to find Nina. She's Elite Player 3.
Well, you find search and you put an Elite Player 3 into the search window, but I can't see search.
I can't actually see search.
Yeah, I've had
a search.
Oh, you found search. I can't see it at the moment. Just have a look.
Elite Player 3. There she is. Here's the game. All right, let's just whiz through this one. Can you still see that on my?
Yeah, fine.
Oh, that's a lot more moves.
That is a lot more moves. Yes.
Let's just very quickly whiz through this. This is Nina in action. We know she's going to win. Richard hasn't seen it himself yet.
But so it's some completely different game. It's nothing to do with Bishop D3.
Yeah, but I think this is the right game we're looking at, but it just didn't come through on the boards. Okay. So we've got Nina's dad in the chat.
Good.
Who is I am Richard Pert. What do you think of this kind of position, John?
I think it's easier to play. Well, I think if black can stop white from doing stuff, then it's fun, but otherwise it's more fun for white. I think white probably has chances to expand, but it's not easy. So what happened? Queen d7. What did she do? She went h3.
Yeah.
Reasonable move.
Knight h5, trying to come in on g3. King h2, stopping it.
Yeah, knight h5 is, if it works, it's a great idea, but if it doesn't, it's a bad idea. Yeah. You don't know immediately.
So d5.
Good move.
Knight back. Takes.
Oh, what happened there? Oh, sorry.
Nina took on e5.
Sorry, there's a knight and f3. I'm just okay. So, well, a5 is ridiculous. Yeah.
But that could just be capture on e5, presumably.
Yeah, and is worse. But
Yeah. So a5.
G4 wins a piece now, actually.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So she's just taking a piece. And she's still got an attack.
She's still got a pieces and very good squares, no?
Yeah, this is going to be very nice for white. Oh, and just rook into the 7th. And Nina's basically a piece up here.
She's a piece up, but not very much. Good.
Yeah. Well played. Well played to Nina.
Yes, excellent. Okay. I mean, knight h5 was just encouraging white to do something. But black didn't know what to do there.
No.
See. So yeah, that's good. Well done, her.
Well done, her. All righty. Brilliant. Okay, so so we didn't win the match overall today. We won the under 12s. Hopefully everyone had a lovely time and can enjoy their games and learnt a lot from their games. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much, John, for commentating.
It's a pleasure. I'm surprised how good the camera is or how much resolution it has. So I apologize for my appalling state. Right. And,
all right.
Right.
Thanks everyone very much for watching.
Okay. Cheers then.
See you.
Cheers. Bye.